And Chris, hello.
I forgot to drink, sorry. Hello, hello. So we're coming live as we do every day. These days, it seems like we like it. So maybe you can see the title at the bottom of the video, and it says WLTW Summit. What's that? So this is a
Yeah.
question that we will be answering for you today. So last year in September, we organized a summit, and it was called Women Lighting the Way. So this summit was actually a collaborative, do you say collaborative project between Chris and me?
Yeah.
And it created the whole her experience, but we didn't know it at the time. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about what is a summit in general and what was this summit in particular, and where how did it feel to be a speaker in this summit, and how did it feel to be an organizer of this summit? Right? Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
And do you want to be a speaker in the
oh yeah,
2022 Women Lighting the Way Summit?
absolutely, because
So
the Women Lighting the Way Summit of 2021 was only the first edition. We aim for many more. So first of all, I would like to discuss the Women Lighting the Way, the name of it, because for me, that was the instant that you said the name, or you had a group called Women Lighting the Way, and I thought, this is an amazing name. This is exactly what we should be doing. We should
Well, this is what
be.
I do. When I get an idea, I go and I buy the domain name, and then let's see if there are any groups on. So I guess I was like,
So
this
for
is
me, that
happening.
was that was the thing that opened up the possibility. This is what we do. We light the way for other women. And I thought, this is exactly, and I loved that it was not me, I'm lighting the way. It's women, many of them lighting the way. And that I love this idea that we don't have to be that I don't have to be a guru. I don't have, or you don't have to be a guru for that sake. That it can be a group that is lighting the way for more. And I thought, this is exactly, once the idea in my head became, oh, here's this group of, I'm a very visual person. So here's this group of women holding these torches and lighting the way. That was really the image for me, a dark landscape, and those 4, 5, 10 women with torches going up a hill, like Outlander style, and lighting the way for other women who followed behind.
Right.
And I thought, when I saw that in my head, I thought, this in fact is not a Facebook group. It's not a website. This is a summit. And so I said to Chris, hey, let's do a summit. Now, of course, I have been obsessed with summits for a long time because I like collaborating. And as an attendee, I've attended several summits on very different subjects. Like I was a follower, and I still am, of a summit called Women Unleashed, which is all about artistic and creative liberation, basically. And I love that. I love seeing different women showing me, 20 women doing 20 tutorials on art, and then I can pick and choose which one I like to work further along with. So it's kind of supermarket, for me.
A nice introduction.
Yeah, a nice introduction. And it's so much, for me, so much alive to see somebody doing what they're doing, or talking, on a live video, than just reading a post or a sales page. So I thought, this is me being an attendee. Maybe there are other people who would love to be attendees, and I could be a speaker. And I had been dreaming about creating a summit for a while. I had actually bought the platform for it, because you go and buy the domain, I buy the tech tools. So so that's how the adventure started. And then you came up with the subject of the summit again, you know.
Which the whole thing, well, I guess it was similar. I had this picture in my mind, and yeah, when I mentioned it to you and you're like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this. We're doing a summit." And I'm just thinking back a year ago right now and how we just let that lead us through those weeks and those few months of, okay, we're doing this. Like, I'm sure doubt creeped in a few times, and it only took us talking again on our Monday morning calls. Like, we just kept doing it every week. This is what we need to do, and we're just going to keep moving forward. And we just, I don't know, we held their hands, I guess. The women that agreed to come with us.
Well, I think that I'm sorry, but you're going too fast here. First of all, what happened is you said, "Oh, if we do a summit, they are going to be the speakers are going to be talking about themselves."
Yes.
And this was for me. This was the second kind of shaking my world revelation of meeting Chris Wallace, which is, it's all right for me. Women Lighting the Way, even the title, I was kind of comfortable if we would do me doing an art tutorial, something
Oh.
not remotely as personal as what you want me to talk about me, about my story.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
everything kicked in my head. It was like, okay, first of all, is it relevant? Will that bring me fame, glory, and customers? No, I don't think so. Let me hide under this table for a while. So it was like, I'm being fairly honest. As an attendee,
Yeah.
as an organizer, I was okay. But as an attendee, my first reaction was, what? Talk about myself, my story? First of all, how is it relevant? And then how is it possible? I mean, how am I going to face
Yeah.
this without puking, literally? And so I think that this was the stroke of genius there, was to say, okay, no, this is it. This is what we're doing. We're having them own their story. We're having the speakers own their story, and their talk, so their 30-minute or 40-minute talk, is going to be about their story, or a bit of their story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is how we light the way, by being authentic, by being vulnerable,
Yes.
by
Yes.
sharing the warts and all stories, or the fun stories. It didn't have to, you didn't have to. It is not compulsory to have a sad story or a rags to riches story, because
Yeah.
I get annoyed with every other coach on the planet has a rags to riches story too, and we didn't want that. We just wanted their story, or a selection, a section of their story. And I think that when we agreed that this was what we were doing, and then we kind of asked our friends, online business friends, and other women that we knew. I think we freaked them out, which was, and then, but at the same time, I think it was very attractive, because a lot of them
Yeah.
did not take, it didn't take more than 5 minutes for most of them to agree. Maybe they weren't realizing. But,
Right.
and then
So I
indeed,
wonder if
yeah, we
that's,
just kept going,
yeah.
like you were saying.
I wonder if women have seen us talking about this, the summit and her matrix, and how the months of coaching leads up to the summit, and um
Well, the
why
first thing that we can discuss is the fact that as organizers, we realized that even recording that talk, that authentic, raw, vulnerable talk about their story, was not a given, you know. And I knew that from day one, because as an attendee, as a speaker myself, it was like, no, this is not easy. So I could really feel when other speakers kind of had their personal moments of freaking out. Um, and again, we still kept going, and we hold their
Yeah.
hands, and we wrote to them weekly, supporting them. We were there to answer their doubts, questions, um, their tech difficulties, but mostly around the talk. It was mostly around the mindset. Although there were some tech issues as well. How do I record? Where do I put the
Mhm.
camera? Do I put it sideways or the other way around? Landscape or portrait, and then the lighting, and then how do I record? How do I edit? How do I edit? Do I write my speech and read it all, or do I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
go for bullet notes? Where do I put the bullet notes so that I can see them while I'm talking? I remember having a 10-minute session with a woman, explain with a speaker, explaining how you could cheat with the notes
Yeah.
and to have the bullet points, because um, I'm getting old, so I have memory issues, or at
I think
least
that's what I did. Yeah, I think I put a couple pieces of paper on my computer just so I made sure I hit
yeah.
everything.
No,
So I wonder.
I'm the tech goddess, so I switched tabs between my
Oh,
camera and my notes. But anyway, yeah. So there were some tech issues along the way regarding this particular aspect, so the talk. But there were also a lot of mindset issues around
yeah.
visibility, around what is authenticity. Is am I supposed here? And we had very different answers. Out of the 12 speakers, not one talk was similar to another. Um,
Right.
some of them literally, like a horse, refused the obstacle and went sideways and did something completely different. They literally did not do what they had agreed to do. They did something completely different, which was fine by us, right? Because
Yeah.
everyone has to find their way to light the way. But I could see as an organizer that some people, some women refused the obstacle. Some others decided that they were going to um, choose only the happy parts of their story,
Yeah.
so that it would be um, happier, I guess. Some others decided that their story was not interesting enough, so they ended up doing a very short talk, because they edited their story so much, or they edited their video so much. But sometimes even the story itself was edited, so that there was not enough for a 30-minute talk. Some others decided that it was not interesting enough, so they would add some teaching in there. Or
Yeah.
let me make it more interesting and let me do some meditation or some, whatever, which I thought was really interesting. Um, and so as an organizer, it was fascinating to see how each of us speakers was dealing with this difficulty, which is, how can I be honest and raw and vulnerable
Mhm.
online? How can this be my testament, kind of, you know and I don't know. I'd be very interested to know who has actually been reusing their speech in their business.
Yeah.
And I was thinking the other day that I actually am not.
Oh, yeah.
And I just decided, like literally a couple of weeks ago, that I'm going to put it on my website
Oh,
somewhere for people to
good.
see, because it's like,
I
yeah, this
love
is
to know
me.
people's backstories. I love to know
Yeah,
the
exactly.
the the choices that people have made.
Exactly.
And
But I'm really kind of almost certain that very few of the 12 speakers actually have this this talk on their website.
oh, I'm sure. I don't. I haven't even thought about it. But I
I have,
like.
because I'm doing your website. Just wait. It's going to appear there. You don't know it, but I do.
So, like, women our age, this is what I'm seeing. Women our age who are starting, building an online business, doesn't it feel like it would be an automatic that if Oprah called, you're going to go do an interview with Oprah and you're going to let her ask all the questions
Sure.
and like you're
And still,
so
and
yeah,
still, you might be puking beforehand,
right.
you know,
Right.
and still
But
you might be ending up editing some of it,
okay.
or I
Right.
might, you know. I
So
know that, going for authenticity is always it's part of my too muchness, so I know that for me, out of the values that I have in life, honesty and or authenticity is very, very high. It must be amongst
mhm,
the three top ones, but I'm still always fighting the need to fit in.
right.
So to just look prettier, look more normal, whatever that means, and just basically be more like everybody else, which is,
Right.
completely stupid
Right.
for me. I consider that completely stupid because it's
Yeah.
exactly not why my clients would love me. They love me
I
because I
read
am me, right? And
yeah.
not because I am
Re-
normal.
reading about the witch wound yesterday, that fitting in, not sticking out, that want to blend in, you don't want to be um different,
Visible.
even
Hmm.
just different and visible can be tough.
Yeah.
But with this summit, so we made our request to our business friends, and most of them jumped on right away.
Yeah.
And we made a second request. So instead of, like, right now at this moment, instead of having that fantasy, because I think we've had this fantasy, I think all women online entrepreneurs, I think there must be that fantasy that Oprah's going to call, or wouldn't it be awesome if someone reached out to me to be a part of something like this.
It's a fantasy that is very well shared. I agree, and it's also very well shared in the artistic world. I want to be
Okay.
discovered, so I'll
Right.
be hiding here under my desk, painting or coaching or doing whatever I do, and somebody will discover me. For that, I don't have to do anything,
Mhm.
and I will just wait basically to be rescued, right? To
Yeah.
be discovered, and then to be suddenly in the spotlight and earning millions.
And
Guess what?
actually
Well, Van Gogh died very poor.
yeah,
He was
but
discovered,
right
yeah,
now,
like 50 years after his death. You can do that as an artist because your art stays. As a coach, you can't. We
but right
should be
now,
aiming for discovery right now.
this this invitation to join her matrix and the 2022 summit is an opportunity to choose yourself and put yourself out there, to to I mean, it takes some guts to say my story is worth being heard, but everybody's story is worth being heard. And we saw that last year. Like you said, everybody's talk was different. Everybody came from a different place. Everybody went through some fear and doubt, some shit. And then here we all were. We were all showing up and sharing that and giving other women the
Yeah,
opportunity
and
to
I think
see
that the
themselves
testimonials, yeah, the
and the
testimonials
possibilities.
were absolutely, a lot of them were talking about that, about the power of just recording their talk and then
Mhm.
being in this space of knowing that 100, 200, 300, 400 people were watching this talk. And it's
Yeah.
like, I when my talk went on live, it was like, you know,
Right.
and breathe. So, and many of our speakers last year said that this has changed something in the way they do business, in the way they do Facebook lives, in the way they kind of own their visibility, and own their true person online, whether on camera or just posting. I know that there are
Yeah.
some things that I'm writing nowadays that I would never have written before.
Oh,
It's like I've
yeah.
been okay. It's if I want to go deep, very deep, and use the not so nice words, um, it's like you've seen my arse now. I can show you
Yeah.
my tits. You know, You know? So it's like I've been literally naked in this talk. Sorry, so I can now write about intimate stuff, or not intimate but authentic, real stuff that you know. Um, and just to be clear, none of it is about telling the whole truth. Beware, it's like in a tribunal, right? You tell only the truth, but not never the whole truth, because the whole truth is yours, is mine to keep. It's my life, and I do not belong to the public, but whatever I share is true and authentic. But as an example, I always say, quote the same thing. I have two kids. They are now not kids anymore. They're not now big grown up boys. They do not want me to share their face on social media. You will not see them. They are part of my 4,000 friends. Go and search for them if you would feel like it. But they don't want me to share their
Yeah.
face. They don't want me to share what happens to them. They just were very adamant from a very young age that it was me posting about my life, but they did not give me permission. And you will never see me share anything about my kids. I will not write about my kids only on general things, but things that happen to me in regards to them, but not things that happen to them. So I'm telling the truth, not the whole truth, because a big part of my life is raising my kids, or was raising my kids. Now they're risen. So yeah.
Well, but
I'm
women
just
being able to
I just
watch
felt
us.
like I wanted to say that, because
Yeah.
it's frightening enough to be asked, do you want to come in a summit and do a talk about an authentic talk and vulnerable talk about your life? But if on top of that you hear that you're supposed to tell everything, then you definitely would freak out, wouldn't
No,
you?
no, not everything. How could you tell everything in 30 minutes? So,
But it's
so
also, what's useful. What is
yeah,
useful for me to light the way? What
and
part of
relevant,
my
right?
story is interesting to light the way for you? And that's where the meat is. That's where the interest is for me and for you. If I can find this authentic place of truth, that might trigger something of a revelation in you, that's even better.
So we invited 11 others, including us, so there were 13 of us. We had 11 other women. We invited them to share their story in a video, 30 minutes. And that's basically what we were asking for. That's what they needed to do. And that's what we're doing this year too. We're
Yep.
inviting women to share their story, talk about where they may have been before and how they got to where they are now,
Yep. What
which
brought them here?
helps other women know that there's always time to change direction. There's always time to create a new mindset and find a new place. And I think that's what's so powerful in women seeing us and hearing our stories and then seeing what we're doing now.
Yep.
And because if you don't want to go to someone who's never had never had any struggle, who's never experienced any fear or doubt, and you want to see
Or
that
maybe
it's
you do,
possible for
and
you.
or maybe you do, but it's the best
Well,
option is to be an attendee in the summit and watch 12 people talk and pick and choose,
right.
because
But it's such a valuable opportunity to share your story and who you are
Yeah.
and what you do now, and just letting people know who you are
Yeah.
and what you're about.
And audience wise, it means that you're not talking to your people. You are talking to my people, to
Yeah,
Chris's people, to all the speakers' people. And that means that suddenly your audience is bigger than that, which is step A, very much frightening. It's like, oh my God, all these people who don't know me, I'm going to be vulnerable and breathe and breathe. But also, it's very valuable because you suddenly have, I remember, I think it's Denise Duffield Thomas who says, the instant you have a hater, open a bottle of
yeah,
champagne, that means you have bypassed the tiny circle of your friends and family. Because, once we go
right,
outside the circle, our audience grows. And of course, there's going to be people hating you, right? So this is an opportunity to grow your audience ASAP.
hate's
Like,
kind of a strong word. You don't resonate with them. They're not your people. They're
oh no,
just
I have people that I hate. and I'm fully ready to be hated.
okay.
I
Okay.
somebody actually came on one of my lives on International Women's Day to tell me to
Yeah.
fuck off because I was a lousy cow. I can tell you, I don't know who they
Wow.
are. I don't know who they are, but I hate them, and they
Yeah.
definitely hated me.
Yeah.
So I think we have to get ready for that. We have to get ready for that. But there are 7 billion people on the planet.
Right.
So out of
So,
those, it's okay for some of us to not like me, not resonate for me, and
yeah.
for some of them to hate me.
Well,
But
and
the
then for each
instant,
one of those,
for each one of those, there's 20 that's going to be falling in love with you. And
yes.
when you're in a summit, you can reach an audience that is way larger and very different also from your own personal one. Because if you go and grow your audience small, step by step, you kind of post in groups or whatever, you will get people that connect with you to start with, which is fine,
Right.
but it's going to be slow unless you invest into Facebook ads, which is a completely different story. If you participate in a summit, you have a sudden influx of audience that is not ready for you, but is ready to watch 12 talks. Out of these 12 talks, yours is one of them. So you get to plead for
Yeah.
yourself.
So this is the reason for the 6 months of coaching to get to that point, to share the summit, to share your talk. So you create a 30-minute talk, and we have a summit weekend where we share these talks, and then you have
And
an
we have some
expanded
live
audience.
panels because that's the
Yeah,
trick is that we midway last year we thought, hey, could be fun if we asked our speakers to do a live panel. and
yeah,
and they were sweet enough to not freak out completely and to come to those live panels, which meant a completely different way of being vulnerable again,
yeah,
because this
to
was
talk about it.
live. This was uh, improvised, like there wasn't any specific
Yeah,
topic. We were there to answer people's questions. And so it was another level of visibility, vulnerability, and authenticity. Um, and our speakers were, I think, once again, um, very reactive and interested to come, and frightened. And we had to guide them through that as well. And the responses were amazing. I mean, the panels were amongst the most listened to talks. So
yes,
the conversation between our speakers was so enriching, I think, which I think is amazing.
yeah. So, similar to, okay, you're going to be interviewed with Oprah. Can you imagine like what would happen the next day after that interview airs? Like suddenly you need an attorney, a PR agent, you need a website, you need a way for people to
A brand
contact
new
you.
wardrobe.
So that's the reason, the coaching up to that point is just getting you ready, getting you in the mindset to be visible and to take advantage of that and to stretch a little bit. And then Isaiah is there with the tech tutorials to make
Yeah,
sure
because you
you've
need
got
your business
the
as well.
landing page, the email list, the website, the freebie, the offer. It all comes together. It all works together and it makes sense. And the coaching leading up to it is just you stretching a little bit each month so that when the summit comes around, you're ready and you're in
Yeah.
the headspace and you've got the
Your
tech
business
to
and your
back you
your
up.
tech, your mindset, everything is ready for this influx
Yeah.
of celebrity.
So there may be an online summit every week. I'm sure there is about
Yeah.
any topic you can think of, but there's no program that takes you through the preparation leading up to a summit that you're participating in and then handing you a whole new audience, a whole new email list, and the confidence and the tech to go with it, to
Yeah,
build
and you
on
can
it.
then proceed to build the rest of your business. I mean, like after this, you start with an audience. You start with
Yes.
an audience and all the tech is in place. So then, it's up to you to keep up building on top of that
Yeah.
audience and business foundations.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we do. When you
And
say it like that, it's like, wow, I'm impressed. Isn't it? I know
I
it
thought
sounds
I would say it
stupid.
this time.
No, I'm impressed. It's like, gosh,
Yeah.
yeah,
This is a
look at
great
that.
program. This is a great
Yes,
fucking idea. And it
it
was
is.
meant to be.
It is.
So anytime I start to doubt this, anytime I start to think, what the hell are you trying to do? I have to go back to trusting that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And that conversation that we had last February, where that brought this idea to the surface, I know that that was meant to be. I know that we were supposed to be there and we were both supposed to say yes. And all those other women were there to say yes. And we did it. And a year
Yeah,
ago, right now, maybe we weren't sure. Maybe we were like, oh my God, are we going to be able to do this? Oh my God, is this really happening? Oh my God, is this,
yeah,
can it be? And then at the end of it, it was like, oh, we did it. But it was more than that. We saw the impact, we saw the ripple, we realized the value, and we came back to invite you to do it this time. And we start on Monday. April 4th is the first live mindset call, which I am talking about, which
I'm
I am
excited.
planning. So we're doing this, we're starting this. And for $2,997, you can join and you can do this and you can build your tech and your mindset and participate in this global summit happening in September. Last year we had Americans, Europeans, Australians. This is an international event. So you have new audience, potential new audience from all over the place.
Yeah,
Isaiah is in France. I'm in the United States. We do the live panels. I think it was 5 a.m. for me, just to get everybody in together. And it works. This program works and it's happening. And you can join if
yeah. We
you
still
can
have some
pick
open
yourself.
spots.
Instead of
Um,
waiting for Oprah to call, this is your
yeah,
invitation to pick yourself,
yeah,
to put you and your business in front of new people.
yeah. And really give yourself the opportunity and the chance and
Yes.
stop faffing around, basically.
And there's a payment plan.
And there's a payment plan, and there are bonuses, and there
Yes.
are offers and everything, but you need a link
Yes.
for that. So let me just
Yes. So
share
take a
the
look.
link. So the link is
And
above the video to the sales page
yeah.
or below the video. So if you're interested to have a closer look, if you want to talk with us because you're still, I don't know, we're here, we're not going anywhere. We are starting on Monday though, so it's kind of I don't like to go on the scarcity thingy mindset, but still, if you've been thinking about it, maybe it's time to stop thinking and just go
Because
for
there
it.
won't be another opportunity for another
Some
year.
inspired action, yeah, and I'm going to push this and say that if you're seeing us come on your feed every now and then, and you're seeing the posts, and every time you think, oh, that seems interesting, maybe you should start considering that this is a message from the
Yes.
universe to tell you that this is now. Now can be the moment when you take action for yourself and for your online business. Now can be the moment when you stop faffing around and thinking, oh, I'll do that later, or that seems nice, but and when you're done with the buttings, well, we'll be on our way, basically. And yeah, it will happen again. It will happen again next year.
Yes.
But every year is a missed opportunity if you don't join.
Because you have a story. If you have an
Yeah.
online business, you have a message and you have a story. And you might think, oh, I don't have anything to talk about for 30 minutes. Nobody would be interested in this. We have a 90-minute one-on-one. I will find your story. I will ask the questions and I will find it because everybody has an amazing fucking story. I completely believe that.
Yeah.
Everybody
Once
has a
again,
story.
if you're here, it's for you. Voila.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will be coming live again and again and again. So that if you see us again and again and again, might be that we're talking to you. If you're interested in joining this second edition of Women Lighting the Way Summit and getting your hand held all through the process of prepping for the summit and creating the foundations for your online business, the solid foundations, tech-wise,
Yes.
it's so important to start, or even to start over. If you're already started, but everything is scattered and not constructed, it's so important that you have something that you can actually build whatever you're dreaming of building, whether it's a small 2-story hatched roof cottage, or whether you want to build the freaking Giza pyramid, or the Empire State Building. You need the foundations, and online the foundations are the tech and your knowledge around the tech. And the freaking mindset. This is also
Yes.
part of the foundations, because otherwise, you were saying yesterday that there are 1,000. How many percent? What's the percentage of businesses closing after less than a
Oh, I
year?
don't know.
And
I
it's
don't know. I think people say
huge.
half,
Yeah, it's huge, and it's mostly due to online. It's mostly due to mindset issues or tech issues. Offline, it's different because there's a lot of investment, financial investment.
Oh, I think it's the same. I think it's the mindset for everybody, every
It
business.
might be, yeah, it might be.
Yeah. It's that energy you're putting out. What frequency are you tapping into,
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, that's us for
Yeah.
today, is it? So
Yes.
lots of love to all of you. If you want more
Tomorrow's going
info,
to be an hour. We keep
yeah,
going
we can
longer
do
and
that.
longer.
Sunday, just wait for Sunday. I have nothing to do on Sunday. We'll have a nice 3-hour talking about her. But it's really, this is the thing, because I realized this night when I wasn't sleeping that we can talk about it for hours because we are so convinced that this is a freaking good
Right.
program.
Right.
And it's not, I don't feel like I'm selling something. It's like I went through it as a speaker last year and it changed my business. So, and we created this change together, you and me. So if we did it once, we can do it again. And we'd love to do it for you, or with
Yeah.
you,
But
rather with you.
we can't reach through and get you to push the button.
No,
You have to do it. You
yeah,
have to take the action.
inspired action. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Okay.
And, read the sales page and think about it.
Yeah.
Bye.